I thought I was. Maybe I bumped it by accident. Thank you for letting me know. All right, now we are recording. I'm gonna have a couple to sort through this morning when I find this out. All right, y'all. So if you are following along, you should have. Let me share my screen again here. Checkpoint one pulled up says reading notes looks like this. So again, please let me know in the chat if you have it pulled up and are ready to go. I have heard from Denira. She has it up. And Zanelia has it up as well. And we're going to talk about all that due date stuff right here today. Okay. So I'll give everybody one more minute to pull this up again. Please let me know in the chat once you got it so I know um, that we are ready to go. If you are not on your laptop today, if you're logging in on your phone and just listening or anything like that, that's okay. We are now recording thanks to Denirus. You can always go back and watch this later to get caught up. All right. All right. If I haven't heard from you with any concerns, questions, I'm going to assume that you have this pulled up on your end as well. Okay. And your screen looks like mine. So you can see it says reading notes, and you can see here we have all the different sections of the book. And remember, the chapters of this book are names of different people because it's told from that person's perspective in each chapter. All right. Now you can obviously see how many different sections we have. Um, we might have to jump around and get creative to be able to kind of finish the book on time. Um, but what you also see next to each one is this part that says date. And that's going to be the date that the notes on that section are due. All right. So those of us who have been here know that we've already read the first section about Effia, right? So we know that she at the end of that section has been married off and is living with James Collins, the captain in the Cape Coast Castle, right? And then we find out right at the end of that chapter that um, she is pregnant with his child, and also that the character that we thought was her mother the whole time, Baba, was actually not her real mother at all, and that kind of explains their dynamic a little bit. Why their relationship was always so harsh. Okay, so what you're gonna do in this checkpoint is you'll see each section has these four kind of boxes here, and the directions up here help you give you some clues onto what you're going to put in each box. So as you can see where it says notes, here's where you make general notes about who is who, what happened, and where, etc. Right? These notes are your reminders of what's happening in the story. It's recommended that these are just in bullet point format. So kind of like what I was just recapping from that chapter. That's what you would put here in the notes section. All right. Now, if you wanted to do it in bullet points, the best way to do that is go up here to where it says text, and there should be. Maybe there's not. I thought there used to be a bullet point thing here. If not, you can just do like an asterisk and hit space, and then it'll create a bullet point like that. Okay. So if you hold shift and then the number 8 key and then hit space, it'll make you a bullet point like that. And you can do them that way. All right. So that's the notes section. So if I was filling this out as an example, okay, I would start to put in some of the info I just mentioned, like um, told from Effia's perspective. Okay. Uh, Effia gets married off to James Collins, the British soldier, right? Effie goes to live in the Cape Coast Castle, right? And then so on and so forth. And I would list kind of the important um, important events and stuff like that from the rest of the chapter. So if you want to copy those 3 bullet points down onto yours to help you get started, feel free to do that now. Okay. And I'm going to scroll back up, and I'll scroll back down in a sec so you guys can copy that. Right. Everybody with me so far? Any questions yet on this? Are we finding it okay? Nobody with major summit issues?
I'm on a little issue right now. Probably
What's
be a
going on?
minute.
What's going on, Jair?
Uh, None of them bullets points is popping up. So I'm gonna go grab my computer.
Okay, no worries.
All right.
When you say none of the bullet points are popping up, do you mean you don't see any of the checkpoints right here?
Yeah, it's like fewer. It's not that I don't have as many as you.
You won't. Yeah, you'll only have the first one here. So that's actually, so if you only see the first one, that's actually okay because that's the only one that I've assigned to everybody yet. You see
Oh,
more mine because I'm on my teacher view. But as long as you see this first one that says reading notes and you're able to click on the link right here and then pull up this doc that I have on my screen right now, then you're fine. Yeah. So if you don't see as many as me, that's okay. You're not supposed to right now because I've only assigned the first one. But that's a good
all right.
question. So thank you for bringing that up. All right. Anything else? Everybody else is good. Yes. All right. Awesome. So that is the notes section. Point of view purpose notes. Here's where you analyze the specific points of view that are brought up in each chapter and how those points of view affect the story as a whole, and or analyze what you think the author's purpose was in the chapter. It is recommended that this section is written in complete sentences. So that's why we kind of did some review with point of view earlier in the week, because here is where we're going to analyze, the point of view of each chapter. So this is where I might say, um, well, who can tell me what kind of point of view is the first chapter, the first section written in? Was it in first person, second person, or third person? So anybody that has been with us for the last class or two? Yeah, Denara, in a sec, after I finish going over this checkpoint, I'm going to put up the link to the Nearpod video, which is like the audiobook recording of the first chapter. And so those of us who are still a little bit behind on the story can utilize that to get caught up. Um, and anyone who can remember off the top of their head that has been in class with us what point of view we had in that first section, first, second, or third person? All right, let's look real quick and see. Here is my PDF version of the story that I have pulled up, right? So if we go to the first section, which is titled Effia, right? And it starts by saying the night Effia Archer was born into the musky heat of Fonteland, a fire raged through the woods just outside her father's compound. And then if we scroll down a little bit more, Effie's father, Kobe Archer, left his first wife, Baba, with the new baby so that he might survey the damage. So pay attention. So if we look at the different pronouns we have, if we look at, the different characters, thoughts and feelings we're learning about. What do we think? Do we have first person, second person, or third person here? Kareem has made it back with us.
Third.
Yes, third, definitely. Uh, do we remember what kind of third person? Do you think it's omniscient or limited? I think I remember earlier, Zanelia told us the difference between the two is that in third person omniscient, we know everybody's thoughts and feelings. In third person limited, we only know certain characters. So what do we think? Is this one third person omniscient or third person limited? So right here, we're learning about Kobe, Effie's father, and how he feels about when he lost the yams. Okay. But then down here, we're learning about Effia, right? And Effie's brother. So a couple different characters here already. So if we know about all of their thoughts and feelings, do we think we have omniscient or limited third person here? What do we think? What can we put back in here? Yeah, omniscient is for sure. Senelia, good job. So now that we know that, I can go to my point of view purpose notes section on the checkpoint. So now I'm back here on checkpoint 1, if you're following along, okay? And I can scroll down to the point of view section. And this is where I can say, this section is told in third person omniscient point of view. If you just want to write POV, that's okay too. If I can remember how to spell omniscient today, that'd be great. Point of view, giving us Effia's perspective. And then I might say this affects the story by, and then you would fill that in and tell me, how does getting Effia's perspective here, or how does having it told from third person affect the story? Okay. That part is what I'm going to leave up to you. And then the last two boxes, one is for quotes. So this is where you would pick between 1 to 3 good quotes that are a good example of what this section is about. Okay. So like the important moments in this section, right? So what are some good quotes that help to exemplify the important moments in this section? I cannot type today. So that's what you would look for and fill in for the quote section, right? And you can do that with excuse me. You can do that with bullet points as well, again, if you wanted to, okay? And then the last one, questions and responses. You don't have to worry about that one right now. This is where if we do any like discussion questions or anything like that, that's where you would put your responses. But most of those we're going to do either like in class together or on Nearpod. So you don't have to worry about that right now, right? So as far as the first 3 boxes are concerned, that's how you'll kind of go in and fill them out, all right? Now, right here it says due date, and if you scroll back up here, you'll see there's a space for each one where it says date next to it. All right. We're not going to worry about these ones up here yet, where it says Socratic seminar, date of final seminar, date of timed analysis essay. We're not going to worry about those yet. Those are going to be the final products, but we'll wait and see kind of how the rest of class goes. But we will fill in the dates for these sections of the checkpoint as we go. So what everybody can do now on their own copy is this first one right here where it says date, you can fill in Tuesday's date, since that is our next class. So that would be 12. Let me check my calendar here. That'd be 12/22, right? That's when we meet next. So that's when I'd like to see this. Or no, I'm sorry, 12/21, because today is Thursday. Right. 12/21. So that's when
that is the 22nd.
Monday.
Tuesday the 22nd.
Tuesday's the 22nd. Yeah, right. But our class meets Monday and Thursdays. I had our days mixed up for a second. Yeah. Thank you though. So 12/21, because that's when we're going to meet next. So that's when I'd like to see this done by. So you can fill it in there, and then you can also fill it in right here. So I would click here and I would highlight in between the brackets. Then I would put 12/21 20. Okay. So that reminds me when this is due. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, Ike. Thank you for joining us. Okay. So that is pretty much the gist of how checkpoint 1 works. And those of you who join us a little bit later, we are recording, so this will be up on the Yes Philly YouTube later today. So you can go back there and watch, or you can come see me in the Summit Lab later as well. Okay. So what you need to complete this, right, are two things. Okay. The first, for those of you who are, and I'm going to let this up if you want to fill in the beginning of these first two boxes like I have right here on yours, go feel free. Okay. But what you'll need to do this is first you'll need the link to the Nearpod video. This is a video that is basically an audiobook recording of the first chapter, but it also has some questions that will pop up sporadically. Hey, Shabri, good morning. So as you follow along with the audiobook recording, some questions will pop up, and then you can answer them right there on the Nearpod, and then that's what I will be looking for to make sure that you have it completed. Okay, so the link to that I am putting in the chat for everyone right now. Okay. Also in the chat, I'm going to put the PDF, the link to the PDF version of our story. So if you do not do great with audiobooks and you'd rather have it in front of you to actually read and follow along, I will put the link for that in the chat as well. Okay. So between those two things, you should be able to, number one, get caught up if you are new or just joining or behind. And also to help do that, don't be afraid to come to the Summit Lab either. And also with those, you should be able to complete Effie's section of the checkpoint 1 reading notes. Okay. So I will be looking for this by the beginning of class next Monday. Okay. Since that's when we meet next. And I'll be changing colors to red, yellow, green for checkpoint 1 accordingly. Okay. Now, as you can see, ladies and gents, there's a bunch of different sections here. So as we kind of progress through the different sections of the book, there'll be another section of notes that we'll fill out, but they will all get filled out the same way that I've kind of outlined how to do it today. Okay. So we'll kind of do this as we go. And then while we're going through the book and filling out notes, we might also do some of the other checkpoints as well. It'll kind of all be working together. Okay. Questions on this right now? Questions about how to find the checkpoint, questions about what to do with the checkpoint, questions about how to access the Nearpod or the story. Oh, for the Nearpod, that's the one thing I forgot. I will also put because you guys need the code, so I will put that in the chat as well. UXEJK. Questions from anyone on what we need to do? Right. Does anyone still need me to keep this up on the screen to if they're filling it out on their checkpoint? Or can I take this down? I don't mind leaving it up at all. That's fine. Just let me know. Rashawn says keep it up. Oh, Rashawn has just joined us since I did not see you before. Welcome and welcome to Shabria. All right, no worries. So those of you who are just coming in, hey, good morning, Sabrine. Those of you who are just coming in, we are working on checkpoint 1. Okay. You will find it on Summit. It is called Reading Notes right here, and then you can click on the link, and it should look like this. Okay. So the things you should have filled out on this that we've done so far today are you should have the date for the first section filled out, which is 12/21. So due next Monday. Okay. And we've kind of gone over how to do each section, but it does tell you that right here. And then I'll zoom out a little bit so you guys can see the whole thing at once. Let me see if I can go one more. It's a little easier now. I gotta go. Okay. All right. And then this is what you can fill out in your own boxes right now. Okay. So with the rest of our time this morning, then, ladies and gents, it's going to be for you guys to either work on checkpoint 1 if you are already caught up in the story, which means you've finished the Nearpod questions and you have made it through the first section. If you are behind and you haven't done the Nearpod yet, I put the link to it in the chat, so you can start there and get caught up. If you're new or behind, if you want to do that, okay. If you need some kind of one-on-one help, or you're having trouble finding things or knowing where to go, let me know in the chat and I can open a breakout room with a few people, and kind of help you out one-on-one if you'd like to do it. If you think that would benefit you as well that way too. Okay. So if you want to do that, just let me know in the chat. You can chat me privately if you know how to do that. Right. But that's what you should be working on for the rest of today, is either starting checkpoint 1. All right. And I've already kind of given you some stuff to build off of here. Okay. If you're not ready to start checkpoint one, using the Nearpod and the PDF copy to get caught up on the first section of the story. And then if you have questions, you want some kind of one-on-one help, let me know, and we can do a breakout room. All right. And also a reminder that I should also have your family tree by now. If I don't, then that is late. And if I didn't see it for progress reports, that's also why you might be failing or needs improvement. If you have questions on those, okay? How to make bullet points again, Jair, very simple. If you're typing, you just hold down the shift key and the number 8. And then, so that'll make an asterisk, and then just hit the space bar one time, and now you have a bullet point. And then once you do that, every time you hit enter, like if you're already doing every time you hit enter, it'll make another bullet point, okay? I'll put that in the chat as well. And also I will repost the links in the chat for those of us who joined a little bit later in case they are not showing up, okay?
Mr. V, did you see what I sent you?
I did not. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's fine, Sabrine. That's why I was saying before you joined that we are recording. So if you want to go back, watch the class recording and then work on it later, or come to the Summit Lab, that's fine. So no worries. But thank you for letting me know. I'm glad you were able to at least log on. Okay. All right. So ladies and gents, if you have filled in all the stuff I have on here, then you are ready to continue working on filling in the rest of the notes, because I've only given you a few things that happened in the section in my bullet points up here. So there's at least two or three other key bullet points you should be able to find and come up with here, specifically towards the end of the chapter, right? And you should be able to fill out the rest of, I've kind of given you a sentence starter here, so you should be able to fill out the rest of a point of view, purpose, right? So how does the point of view and the purpose of the first section, affect the story? And then you also want to find some quotes down here. If you've typed in this as kind of like a reminder of what to look for, that's totally fine. That's why I put it there, okay? But that's what we should be working on right now, okay? And again, if you have not read the story or you're a little bit behind on the story, then you can be listening to the Nearpod and answering those questions. All right.
Last time when I was using an AirPod, it didn't save where I was left off at. It just started the story over when I logged back in.
Okay, what you can do, because that's happened to one or two other people, Sabrina, so that's a good point. So I'm going to leave this page for a sec, ladies and gents, if you're still copying, and then I'll go back. All right. If that's happening to you on the Nearpod, let me pull this up real quick. All right. So yeah, if that's, and I'm just double checking some stuff here. Okay. So if that's happening to you on the Nearpod when you get there, right? What you can do, it should save your answers. So if you answer a question and you submit it, it should save that answer. But if you leave it and you go back to it, it's probably going to come back to the beginning. So what you can do is just use the bar down here and just drag it to the place you left off. So kind of, try and take a guess like, okay, I think I was maybe 5 minutes in, or I was like, you know, 10 minutes in, or whatever it is, and then drag the bar there and then listen. You can play it and listen.
Cobb and the other men saw a beak who offers the rest of the family well.
Okay, listen to what it's saying, and think like, okay, I remember hearing that. Maybe I have to go a little bit further, or oh, I don't remember hearing that. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, and then you can play it again, and then it should continue playing. And then, like I said, if you've already answered some of the questions, it should still save. It should save your answers. So if you've already answered the first question, it should save that answer, and then you can, then you can keep going. So you drag. So if okay, I already answered the first question, I'm going to drag it past there. Now it'll play, and then when you get to the second question, you can answer that one. Okay. If you're finding that it's not saving your answers, let me know. But it might seem like it's not, because if you start from the beginning, the question is going to pop up again, because it'll think that you are like starting from the beginning, so it has to ask it again. But if you've already submitted an answer, then you can move on and just go to the next question. If you still think it's not saving your answers, let me know, because I can check it on my end and see if there's an answer for you or not. Okay. So that's our quick little Nearpod tutorial. So hopefully, Sabrina, that helps next time you're doing it, right?
Thank you.
You are very welcome. But I do see a lot of you signed up on there and a lot of you answering the stuff. So continue to do that to get caught up. Like I said, if you are still behind with the story, but know that next class, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be moving on to the next section. That's why you should have the due date for this first section of notes filled in on your checkpoint, which is 12/21, which is next Monday. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got about 10 minutes left. I am going to give the rest of that time to you guys to continue working on stuff. Unless anybody else needs this, I am going to stop sharing my screen. So I'll wait 30 seconds and see if anybody else still needs it. Let me know. And Rashawn, yes, I did see your Nearpod answers. Good job on completing that. Thank you. All right, so you are working on one of three things. You are either working on checkpoint 1 based on how I showed you today to do it. If not, you are getting caught up on the first section of the story via the Nearpod or the kind of PDF link, or you are asking me if we can do a one-on-one breakout room if you need a little bit more help that way. Okay. And if you finish the checkpoint either today or later this week, then you can utilize the PDF link that I put in the chat to start reading the next section. Okay. And if you still haven't given me your family tree, then you can also send me that as well. Okay. If you're having a real tough time with the Nearpods and Alia, if it's like the tech is not working, then yeah, that's fine. You can send them to me that way. Yeah. Try your best to do it in the Nearpod because I can keep track of it all at once in there. But if you're really struggling doing it that way and you would work better writing them down and sending them to me, then that's fine. An email would probably be the best way to do it. So like put them in a Google Doc, share the doc with me, put them in an email, however that works. Okay. All right, so I'm going to mute myself, give you guys the rest of the time to work here, and then about 10 23, I'll come back. I'll jump back in, and we will kind of wrap up everything. All right. But really good job today. Thank you guys. All right, y'all, jumping back in here, just to kind of wrap up. So again, remember that this class will be up on the YouTube page if you want to watch it later. If you were away from your laptop this morning and able to follow along, if you're still a little bit lost, anything like that. And I will also be in the Summit Lab this afternoon from 1 to 3. The link for the lab is the same link as the link for this class. So if you need some kind of one-on-one directions or any help with anything else, excuse me, please don't be afraid to visit me there, okay? What I'd like from you before you leave is in the chat, if you can give me a 1 to 5 of your understanding with checkpoint 1 and everything that you need to have done for next class on Monday. 5 being, yep, I understand how to do the checkpoint, what I need to do. I'm good to go with everything. 3 would be like somewhere kind of in the middle. Like, I think I get it, but I might need a little bit more help. 1 would be like, I'm a little bit lost. I'm a little bit behind. Okay. All right, no worries. I'm getting a few in there. I'd like to see one from everybody if you can before you go. All right. If you are putting in like a 1 or a 2, then that should tell you maybe come to the Summit Lab later, get some extra help. All right. Go back, watch the YouTube video, especially if you came to class late. Okay. So that way you can see kind of how we went over the checkpoint in the beginning of class. All right. And things like that. Okay. All right. So Rashawn, I got yours. Anelias, I got yours. Thank you. Denira's, I got yours. Thank you. Right. So again, once you put this in here, you are good to go. All right. All right, Jair, thank you. Awesome job. Okay. Again, once I have these, if you're good to go. Haven't seen any 4s or 5s yet, so that tells me maybe I'll be seeing some people in the lab later today or tomorrow. Or again, go on, watch the YouTube recording later today. All right. And if you have questions, give me a shout. Okay. If there are no other questions and you've put your 1 to 5 in the chat, then I'm going to go ahead and end the chat so we can start making our way to second period. All right. If you guys do have questions or anything comes up, please shoot me an email, shoot me a message, and let me know. All right. So, Jair, if you just go to YouTube and search Yes Philly, you should see our channel pop up. And then you'll see on that channel all the classes, the recordings of all the classes from each day. And you'll be able to find it that way. If you still can't find it, let me know and I can provide you with a link. All right. All right, y'all. Good job today. I will see you all again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Stay safe in the snow, and I will see you then. All right. Good job.